I guess I'm writing this more to process than anything. Maybe someone out there has gone through something similar, or maybe you'll just think I've lost my mind. That's fine too. I just need to get this out. 3 months ago, I moved to a small town in western Pennsylvania called Knox Hollow. Never heard of it? Neither had I. It's one of those blink-and-you-miss-it places off a forgotten stretch of highway, tucked between dense forest and old coal roads. I only ended up there because of the divorce. After 12 years of marriage, Lisa and I called it quits. Well, she did. I needed to get as far away from Pittsburgh as I could afford. The listing was a godsend. 3-bedroom house, huge yard, and dirt cheap. The pictures made it look rustic, charming even. The real estate agent kept using the word character. I should have known better. The house sat on the edge of town, practically swallowed by trees. First thing I noticed when I pulled up was how quiet everything was. No traffic, no birds. Just the ticking of my car engine cooling and the wind rattling the trees like dry bones. There was something heavy in the air, like the forest was watching. I moved in on a Monday. The first couple days were uneventful, mostly unpacking and getting the utilities figured out. The locals were friendly enough, but something felt off. They'd smile too long, eyes that lingered a little too intensely. One of them, a guy named Frank who ran the hardware store, gave me a firm handshake and said, "It's good someone's finally living in that house again." That again stuck with me. I asked what he meant, but he just smiled and said, "Oh, it's just been a while. Old place like that needs a heartbeat." The first week passed in a blur of cardboard boxes and frozen dinners. Then things started to get weird. It began small. The kind of stuff you brush off because moving is chaotic. A coffee mug I knew I left on the kitchen counter would be in the sink. A drawer I hadn't opened yet would be slightly ajar. My keys vanished for 2 hours, only to be found neatly placed on my pillow. I figured I was just stressed, or tired, or both. But then came the symbols. The first one showed up in the basement, scrawled faintly in chalk behind a shelf I moved. It looked like a triangle inside a circle, with jagged lines branching out like thorns. I thought it was maybe a kid's doodle or some old builder's mark. Weird, but whatever. I wiped it off. The next day, it was back. Same exact spot. This time, darker, fresher. I snapped a picture on my phone and went to show the lady at the general store. Yeah, they actually have one of those, thinking maybe it was a local thing, some kind of folk art or whatever. She looked at the photo and immediately blanched. "Where'd you see this?" "In my basement." "Why?" She didn't answer, just turned and walked into the back without another word. I waited a few minutes, but she never came back out. When I left, I noticed the other patrons staring at me. Not the casual glance, but the kind of stare you feel between your shoulder blades. Things escalated quickly after that. Every night I'd hear knocking, not on the door, from inside the house. 3 sharp knocks, always from a different place. Sometimes upstairs, sometimes from inside the walls. I checked for pests, loose pipes, anything that could explain it. Nothing. Then came the dreams. I started waking up at 3:12 a.m. on the dot. No alarm, no noise, just snapping awake like someone flipped a switch. Every time my heart would be racing, my mouth dry, the sheets soaked with sweat. I couldn't remember the dreams, but the feeling they left behind lingered. Like drowning. Like someone whispering in a language I couldn't understand. Just outside the range of hearing. And the symbol? It started showing up everywhere. On the back of my closet door. On the bathroom mirror in steam after a shower. Even carved into the wood of the banister, like it had always been there. I tried calling the real estate agent. Her number was disconnected. The county records office had no previous owner listed. Just a vague entry saying Knox Hollow Trust. I even contacted a paranormal investigator on a subreddit I won't name, but they ghosted me after I sent them the photo of the symbol. The final straw was the attic. I didn't even know there was an attic until last week. A small square panel in the hallway ceiling I must have overlooked. I only noticed it because I woke up again at 3:12 and heard something scratching above me. Not rats, not raccoons, something deliberate. Like fingernails dragging across wood. I grabbed a chair and pushed the panel open. A ladder unfolded on its own. I wish to God I hadn't gone up there. The air was thick, like breathing through wool. Dust coated everything, but in the center of the attic was a crude altar, made of old stone and rusted metal, like it had been built into the house. On it sat a bundle of dried twigs tied in twine, and around it, dozens of those same symbols etched into the floor. But what really chilled me was the photo. Pinned to one of the beams with a rusted nail was a Polaroid. It was of me, sleeping. The timestamp read 3:12 a.m.